Who do we sell? Arturo Vidal or Ivan Rakitic? Ernesto Valverde has made it very clear that our midfield is overcrowded and we need to sell 1, 2, or maybe even 3 midfielders to have consistency in that area of the field that can ultimately affect our success this season. That is why Arturo Vidal and Rakitic can be key. Either one of them because of their own reasons, but they just have value. There are players that we can get some money for, and that's very important. So in this video, we're going to be pinning them together to see which of the two actually gives us a little bit of a positive, which one is better to keep, which one is better to sell. And before we start off this video, be sure to check out our friends at BugaLuisFC. Links are going to be in the description down below. They offer many benefits like having Barcelona's newest jersey, pretty cool. Needless to say, they're not authentic kits, but their aim is to make supporting your favorite club more accessible than ever. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And I want to start off right away by giving you kind of like a rundown on the situations transfer-wise of these two players, starting off with Arturo Vidal. Arturo Vidal seems to be linked to Inter quite a lot. I know Antonio Conte really wants him, and that can be a positive for us at Barcelona. The value of Arturo Vidal is relatively high, if I say to myself. I think that around 25 million euros is what Barcelona would be asking. Certainly a profit. Everything, I think, if we sell Arturo Vidal will be a profit, and that's a very big positive. China could also be entertained, but of course he wants to remain much more competitive. But I think that Arturo Vidal in that sense has a good destination in Inter. The possible deals I have been talked to with Inter has been a loan with an obligation to buy, which is something which I don't know if it's too much of the liking of Barcelona, because they would like the money right now since we don't have any. But like I mentioned, either way, it's going to be a profit on what we do. In the case of Rakitic, he's also being looked out for many different clubs. The main one, of course, also being Inter. Antonio Conte wants all of our center midfielders, apparently. Take them all. And well, PSG is also a final destination where Rakitic could go to. We know that PSG really like the guy, and if we were to create any deal for Neymar, he will most likely be included in it. So Ivan really has some value in him. At 50 million euros, I think we could get a lot of clubs interested in him. And if his value is priced as that, like I mentioned before, he could be included in a deal for Neymar. So it's also got to be very interesting about which one is better financially. At this stage, I think that financially, Ivan Rakitic just is simple, because the value that this guy has is double of what Arturo Vidal can give us. And trying to reinforce that point, moving on to now sporting decisions, Arturo Vidal is much more unique in his skill set. He has energy, not pace, but energy, strength, aggression, all of that in the middle of the park that Rakitic doesn't. And Arturo Vidal has much of a lesser name when it comes to just the pressure that he can put on Valverde and the presence in the dressing room, so he could be benched. Ivan Rakitic doesn't. Ivan Rakitic has a lot of experience with our club, and he will undoubtedly go down as one of the best players ever in Barcelona's history, I believe, in the midfield, because he really was that good. There's always a moment to kind of like split relationships. The good always has to come to an end, and if you can get the value for Rakitic, and we know that he's playing good, it's still a chance for us to get some money for him. There is something to be won here. So let's not wait until it becomes much of a problem, because like I mentioned, in the dressing room, Arturo Vidal, Ivan Rakitic does have a very big presence in there. And we know that Valverde, if he has it, he will play him every single week, no matter what, even if he's playing badly. So I don't know, guys. For me, it's very simple, and I would make Arturo Vidal the guy to keep. And I think Rakitic will be the guy to sell. Arturo Vidal makes much more sense. For the value that this guy has, is much better to keep him, because what he can do on the field can easily surpass any sum that we could be getting for him in the transfer window. And for Inter, Rakitic joining the Inter siege, or whatever you want to call it now that there's so many creations there, it would make a lot of sense. So that's going to be everything for right now, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. It was just a little bit simple because I wanted to tackle these two news at the same time. I know that Rakitic and Arturo Vidal can be instrumental to Barcelona no matter whatsoever, if they stay or they go, but we need the space in the midfield to bring other players in. We need the money to be able to just keep our club stable. There are players that, sadly, because of the mishandling of our club, we end up having to pay those consequences by selling these two guys, which are experienced winners. And that's how it is. That's how it has to be sometimes. So for the betterment of the club, one or even two of them should go. I wouldn't say, but if it was up to me, if I only had to sell one, Rakitic would leave, because I see so much more benefits in keeping and retaining Arturo Vidal than keeping Rakitic. And plus Rakitic gives you more money, so yeah, math.